Like,
Oh, is this one like the
my UMBC,
admin?
what's it?
Oh yeah.
Wait, how did you got
It was
access to
weird.
it?
I was able to sign it, then it was like, it was a year.
Oh, okay.
This is 70.
So they're requesting for t-shirts, they have a front and back, which is why it's so expensive. Max we could fund them would be at $220. They are not here yet, but we will wait for the 2 minutes because we did tell them that we were gonna see them at 5:35. Don't know if they're coming or not, but we should at least wait.
Why is it?
Something wrong?
Oh yeah, you're right. 22 items, $10.
Yeah.
What does this say?
Oh, this is pre-physician society.
The FBR number was 70, correct?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Oh, while we're waiting, Scott, can you give us an update on your treasury things that you've been working on? That you said you were wanting to.
You want me to do my announcements now?
Oh,
That's gonna be a the announcement section.
okay.
But seeing as they're not here, let me go ahead and slap the link for the legislation in the agenda, and then we can go ahead and vote on it.
You can move to table with the House request and then go through the legislation right now.
Well, I mean, the legislation for this hospital, right, I just haven't linked anything.
No, for the jail.
Oh, well, do you wanna do this hospital right now?
They're not here.
Yeah, but it's 35, and we told them we'd be here. We can table it.
Let's just do the jail first. So.
Alright, move to table FPL 349-1920.
Second.
Alright, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. The jail. Nice work. Sorry, guys. It's in legislation. Good.
Minutes.
Yep, that's it. This passed unanimously through the Senate. Several changes made to the ex officio section, along with general updates. The three main things it does is clarify Senate ex officios, which are striking the Community Relations Board and adding in the chair for the Finance Board. It clarifies the Finance Board's ex officios, which adds in both the Speaker of the Senate and the Retriever. And it clarifies the FYA amounts. Good thing we waited. Clarifies FYA numbers. So in the past, it was limited to only 3 per legislative body. This makes that, instead of changing it to a hard number.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. You know how like your chair. Great.
It's on the window side.
Oh, cool.
Changes the ex officio to do an agreement between the heads of each body and the advisor for the first year program. So that would be either the EVP or if a co-advisor appointed them as well. So all these comments were worked through with the Senate leadership, and they we went back and forth on that. This is the final document that came out and got unanimously approved through the Senate. Questions? I'm sure Scott has some.
I think, is it just the Retriever, not the Retriever Weekly?
That's what they said.
Their constitution just says the Retriever, if that helps.
I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. It's just updating outdated language.
The main goal of getting this one classified is having ex officio status means that it'll be easier for any mistakes that we catch in between the passage of the document in the Senate and the Finance Board. In the past, if there was an error after it passed through one body, we have to withdraw the entire legislation, reintroduce brand new legislation, put up through both. This just allows us where if anyone notices that change, we can have the respective legislator head over to the other side and motion to create that change.
What is uncommon?
Which one?
It will be done by the.
Yeah, it's from Order 66 from Star Wars.
I'm a Houdin.
Have you even seen season 12?
Yes, not 50, but I don't like one. Anyways,
No, season 1.
Peter Capaldi was from
Is there a motion?
Move to approve JL 16/1920.
Second.
Alright, all in favor, please raise your hands now. All opposed, 7-4, 0 against, 1 abstaining, and 1 absent. The motion carries. Thanks, guys. I was the fair minimum having you. Alright, we'll reopen up this house request.
Do introduction.
Yeah, we'll first move to reopen this house request in FPL 349-1920.
Second.
Alright, we'll go around and do a round of introductions. Just so you know who we are, we know who you guys are. Scott, go ahead, sir.
Scott Buchanan, SGA treasurer, he, him, and I am the voting member of the finance.
Park Patel, FYA.
I'm Nidhi Prakash, I'm a finance board representative, you she her pronouns, and I am a voting member.
Michael Chapman, Finance Board Representative.
Also Mayor, Finance Board Representative, she, her, and I'm a voting member.
Hi, Maurice and Troy, and I'm a voting member. How you see your pronouns?
Dean Sen for Finance Board. I'm not a voting member, and how you see him pronouns?
My name is Liam. I'm the current chair of the finance board. I share bronze, and I am a voting member.
Tori Heasley, coordinator for student organization engagement, I use she her pronouns, I serve as an advisor here, I do not vote.
Veto candidate, FYA.
Oops.
Zane Poffenberger, Vice President of Student Organizations, he, him pronouns.
Ryan Barron, I'm a finance board representative, I'm a voting member. I see him.
I think that's good to meet our FYA.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, considering that it is 5:40, we're also going to go ahead and proceed with this piece of legislation. So I'd like to introduce FBL 349-1920, which is approval of the pre-physician assistant society's 2020 Sahas request. There's legislation for it. Yeah, this is it for the amount of $220. As per regulation, it's only $10 per item, seeing as they're requesting 22 items. Logically, the cost would fall to $220, and we'll join the organization as such. All right. Is there a motion on the floor?
I agree that 22 times 10 is 220, so I move to approve FPL 349-1920.
Second.
All right, any abstentions? All right, all in favor, please raise your hands now. All opposed, 7-4, 0 against, 1 abstaining, and 1 absent. The motion carries. All right, that's all we got for today. You guys got a short meeting, so congratulations for what FYIs. Up next, we have it really doesn't. It feels surreal. We have announcements. We have announcements from Scott, and we have announcements from Michael, along with, do you have one?
I haven't decided where I want to use it yet.
All right, that sounds perfect. A little.
I don't know if I want it as an announcement in my past account.
I'm like Tori, I want to wait to pass it out.
You're gonna wait till past the gavel? All right, Scott, go ahead.
Oh, God.
Elected. I forgot what I said I would say too. So, treasurer training, we have weird room reservations like we do for the finance board, but they are all posted on the My UMBC. I'll just bring that up so you guys can see where everything's posted. Everybody's a member of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, contact Scott, he'll get you in it.
Contact Tori.
Yeah, it's me.
Told.
It me.
I just want to talk to Scott.
Scott will just forward it to me.
Yeah, when something goes wrong, I'm ashamed of it. I know what I can
Hit me.
But basically, we have treasurer trainings for the next few weeks. So if with our new clubs, obviously, make sure to send them to treasurer training. They will be basically exclusively hosted by the treasurer support team. After that, we have some spicy stuff too. I haven't put in the budget workshops yet, but so we're gonna have budget workshops probably starting the 18th through this week up until Brit's deadline for ECS. Everybody has been invited to Brit's deadline. I think she emailed Tori to be added to our treasurer group on my UMBC too. And she has agreed to repost our budget stuff onto the schedulers group. So we'll be basically signal boosting her deadline. After her deadline, I'm not hosting budget workshops the last week to try and incentivize them to do it earlier. So you guys can feel free to help out with the budget workshops here if you would like to.
Workshops,
Oh yeah. That's basically it.
You and I, welcome. See.
For the academic year, so fall times, right?
If somebody's already went through treasurer training in the fall, they're good.
This is from, we've had a lot
And
of.
if they went through treasurer training under a different org and are a treasurer of a different org now, but they weren't in the fall, they're still good.
We've gotten several emails about treasurer turnover, people leaving for study abroad, people graduating, people just not really caring anymore, so we need to get the new people trained up.
And if they're the president of the org and the treasurer assigned, but the president is treasurer trained, they're good.
Basically someone whose email has been checked off so that they have access to
It's
them.
more about having access to those different things.
That's not, we'll just find it. Anything else? No.
I guess I am gonna have to do some here and half it. Renewal season is upon us. So this means all the student orgs have to start renewing. So if you hear rumbles or like people having questions about renewal or things like that, make sure they're checking the officer page. I know this isn't finance board specifically related, but if they don't renew, that impacts their ability to have finance board funding. If they have questions, send them my way or Courtney's way. Yeah, just so everyone is aware, all student orgs have to have an annual meeting with myself or Courtney, and a lot of them haven't. So if you hear rumbles about that, settle them to get on my calendar or to email me or to Courtney. The rest of us can pass it.
Since
Madam
Candace,
President,
Madam President,
we came at the right time.
I have
We're like this.
Candace is not here.
Candace went home,
Yeah, she's not today.
but my next announcements are in the spirit of Candace.
Go for it.
So we had the Baltimore College Town Summit. Thank you for those of you who came. Shame on you who didn't. But we got to talk with people from other SGAs, and they have some suggestions or things that they do differently than us. And one of those things is that like Stevenson University, treasurer there was saying how they fund off-campus events. And what they do is they match how much outside money is going to an event. So if they want to pay half a ticket themselves, they can do that. If they want to fundraise half a ticket, basically, and get that matched by us, they do that. You guys are looking at me.
A better way to explain it is be price match, that they have to have some kind of skin in the game. If, what they do is essentially if clubs want to go on a conference, say Model UN needs $10,000 to go to New York. What we'll say is we're not going to give you that $10,000 straight up because you're asking for it, but if you show us that you'll pay for fundraise $5,000, we'll gladly give you the other $5,000 that you need. But it's a way to kind of ensure that clubs and organizations aren't feeling as entitled to off-campus funds, and considering how much we have to limit off-campus in general. It's kind of a way to make sure that they understand that they need to have some kind of stake in the game and can't just say, oh, we don't have to worry about fundraising or do anything because the finance board will pay for it. And especially when it comes to things like intellectual sports and the attitudes that have been going around that and sources of funding from them, might be a good step forward to look into. Not saying we're going to do it here just yet, but we have been listening to stuff that other students have been doing or other finance board equivalents at other universities, and it's something that we might want to make that change around. Anything else, Scott?
No, I think that's all I have.
You want to introduce yourself so we know who you are? Because that's just a decent way.
Hello, my name is Acha. I'm a first year freshman biology major. I'm an FYA. I joined the FYA program last year. I was in Senate. I'm excited to meet you all, to hear about what you guys do, and be a part of this.
We look forward to having you. And yeah, so as you three here are FYS for the finance board, I promise you meetings aren't normally this short because we're about to be ending pretty soon. Once we get to budget season, they'll get longer, but I promise to bring you guys food and snacks during that time period, you guys especially, since you don't have to be here. Oh, you look upset, you're getting a paycheck, don't worry about it. But we do look forward to seeing you here. We'll have more stuff for you guys to do, and be reminded that, just like Senate here in the finance board, if you ever want to speak your mind about something, if you want to make a motion or change, you have the power to do that. So if you hear us talking about a club and you're like, hey, I know something about that, I want to say something, you're free to go ahead. You're an equal voice here at this decision. Even though this table is a bit smaller than our other. Any other announcements? SRCs are back. Please start doing those because they will start locking the sheets after each week is over. So you cannot go back in and do your old ones. So you really do have to have them on time. All right, anything else? All right. It is 5:49. I recognize that I am present, Michael is present, Zane is present, Ryan is present, Scott is present, Nithya is present, Ilse is present, Elise is present. And with that, we are adjourned.